at its current state, college baseball has very limited media coverage. And that can be a challenge, especially to people who want to just watch all the games going on in their area or all the games in general. It's hard to follow when there's no coverage and nothing's being pushed. As it stands right now, the Men's College World Series is one of the biggest events in college sports. And regular season's games can't even maintain basic viewership. Why is that? Because streaming services don't like to push a sport that's seemingly not as popular as football and basketball, so they don't put as much effort into building those platforms. And that can be a challenge when you're trying to just watch your favorite teams and watch competitive games because they're not being shown. As it stands right now, schools in the South and the West have very good crowd attendance and very good, strong teams, whereas other places don't even have good programs because they can't afford to build them because they're more focused on their other sports like football and basketball. So it's very hard to make a team big in a sport that there's not much coverage and not much care for. Why college baseball should be more mainstream? Well, I believe college baseball should be more mainstream because it has a lot of very unique features about it that the MLB doesn't even have. It has a lot of small ball, a lot of competitive nature, and a lot of the rivalries that happen in basic college football. It's a very competitive scene, but it doesn't get portrayed to the public. College baseball is very unique in many ways, more unique than the MLB due to the fact that they have a lot more competitive nature, meaning that they will do whatever it takes to win. They'll start doing small ball like bunting and just doing more strategic maneuvers that the MLB doesn't really rely on. MLB, you'll just see a lot of home runs and a lot of like big swings, and a lot of strikeouts. In college baseball, their whole thing is trying not to strike out and trying to move the next guy up, trying to get the next guy on. Where MLB, they all rely on their very own talent, and it's just like you can't rely on your team that way. So it makes it a very selfish game, and it's hard to watch the MLB to me. And how to elevate the sport? Well, the way to elevate the sport is you got to attack it at the streaming services. First off, you got to start pushing it like you do the college basketball and everything like that, because then people will start being able to notice it, start being able to be like, hey, I'll click on that. It looks pretty cool if it's two big teams that I see on there. And just basically having streaming deals, having deals that overall push the sport to the public, because the public has no visual on what's even happening in the college baseball scene unless you know about baseball and you follow baseball your whole life. Next, universities and conferences should start building their Instagrams and their social media fronts, because that's how you can start bringing in the youth and bringing in the younger audience, because a lot of people like to see a team grow, and if you don't even know about a team, how can you watch it? So if you want to do that, you also have to have players make their own social medias and start bringing their own fan bases to the sport. It starts to build up your sport even more, making it more successful and bringing in more youth prospects that you might want for your team. Whoops. Well, lastly, I feel that colleges need to start having local tournaments that anyone can go to, anyone in their fan base can go to, because they're local to the conference and they're neutral sites. So people will go out, spend their money to go watch these college teams play, because say you're in the SEC and they're having a tournament like North Carolina or something. Somebody will want to come watch that. Like, a lot of people around here like the sports of baseball, but they just can't go out and see it because they don't get pushed to big schools around here that are big in baseball. So, well, right now we're doing really well in baseball, but typically, like, it's only SEC schools. And I feel college baseball has all the unique resources and all the unique aspects to make it just as good as college football and college basketball, because it has rivalries, high intensity, it's very competitive, and overall it's just very underrated. I think people should start to be pushed into watching the college baseball, because it's a great sport to watch and it's just very entertaining. So, yeah.